Oglethorpe County was blessed this week to have a couple of special visitors from Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri. This is my cousin Don Ross and his lovely wife Donna, and they have come to visit, and we've not seen each other in
28 years.
28 years. So it's been fun catching up. And Don and Donna have come to the local color gallery here in Lexington this afternoon to promote the book that Don has written. It's called Where's Opie? Vanished in Chicago. And it tells about their son Jesse Ross, who disappeared on November 21st of 2006 while on a trip with his college in Chicago, Illinois. If y'all want to tell us a little bit about Jesse first of all, let's talk about Jesse and who he is.
Well, Jesse was our youngest son, a little redhead, kind of a wild little character, not afraid of anything, and generally always looking for some kind of adventure. On November 18th in 2006, Jesse was a sophomore in college. He went with his group to Chicago as part of the Model UN experience, a conference that was up there. He was to be there 4 days, and then he would be coming home. Essentially on that 4th day, we were to get a call from Jesse letting us know when he would be leaving for home. Instead, we got a call from his sponsor notifying us that they were unable to locate Jesse, and eventually this led to a police report and missing person status. As far as Jesse's personality, he was a radio personality, college student. He worked 2 jobs off and on. He was involved in all sorts of concerts and music related events, and just an all-around busy guy.
Right before the conference was over, that last night they had a dance for all the kids, and then this was a Model UN convention and for college students, and also in the real world they have emergency meetings, so they wanted a group of them to experience this. So at like 1 o'clock in the morning, the kids knew about it ahead of time, but around 1 o'clock in the morning they scheduled an emergency council meeting, and Jesse and his roommate were part of this group of about 30 kids. And so it started at 1 o'clock, maybe about 2:30, they stopped for a break, and all the kids got up and went outdoors, out the several different doors of the room, and Jesse's roommate saw him get up and kind of go out this one door, and Jesse hasn't been seen since. The hotel has a lot of cameras at their exits. They could not find Jesse on any of these cameras. There was one exit which the kids used because it was kind of a shortcut, because they were staying at a different hotel than where the conference was. It's thought maybe Jesse might have gone out that exit. Maybe he was tired and he was just going to walk back to his hotel. If so, he never made it. They can't prove to us that he even left the hotel. Mm-hmm. There were room parties going on. You don't put 1,000 college kids in Chicago, and they're not going to have some partying.
Exactly.
And did he go up to a root party, and did an accident happen? Did something happen? We don't have a clue. The police say it's like he's vanished. People just don't vanish. Someone knows what's happened to Jesse. He's very fair-skinned, had fire engine red hair. He sticks out like a sore thumb. So here we are 5.5 years later, and no clues, nothing. So it's our job, and parents of the missing, you just have to keep your missing, as in our case, Jesse, you have to keep their name and their face out in the public eye. And we hope and pray someday will have answers, and somebody's, either their conscience will get to them, or someone will say, I think I saw that guy. So,
one of the biggest frustrations that I have picked up from this is what's going on with the Chicago Police Department right now. The national databases. Would y'all explain some of that to everybody? How their names get on these national database listings, and what has happened with Jesse right now?
Of course, as the parents, we're probably the least familiar with all these procedures. But our understanding is, at the time he went missing, we notified the police. The police entered him into they call it the NCIC, which is a national database that the FBI and various law enforcement agencies can use to reference crimes and to if they have some type of event or evidence or something, they can go out to this database and call up cases, and this helps kind of helps a case be national in scope. It allows all these other police agencies to actually access a case. Jesse was in that database. What happened is, best we understand it, is the police may do some type of regular updating on this database where they will put progress in a case or some type of file that they work with. Apparently this wasn't done. Jesse was taken out of this national database, and when that happened, he was also removed from a database which is run by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So they are the ones who called us, and I had originally checked online for Jesse's status on that database, and he was gone. I talked to them, and they explained to us what had happened. They also told us that the detective on the case, they had contacted him, and he assured them that he was going to get all that information back into the database, and that Jesse would be back where he needed to be. And thus far, it's been, I think, a month or more. He hasn't done anything. So at this point in time, nationally, as far as the law enforcement community is concerned, Jesse's case doesn't exist. It won't until he's back on that database. So this is a source of frustration for us after over five long years of not getting a lot of help from police. This is just another issue that we have to deal with. So right now it's up to us to push and try and work with different organizations and get the police back on target again.
Now I've got one of your bands here. It's there's a website, www.findjesseross.com. They have these bands. Here's another one. And we have some pins, Missing Jesse Ross. There is a $10,000 reward offered. You want to talk about that?
We started out the fraternity that Jesse was pledging at his school held an event shortly after he went missing, and they printed up t-shirts and so on, and they gathered about around $1,000 from their event. Then we began to get donations from different groups and so on, and it went up to around $4,000. And then from there, eventually it ended up being $10,000. And with people who have been in this experience longer than we have talked with us, rewards are not generally immediately effective. And this is something we will share with others who might be in this situation. It's good to have that reward out there, and we do, but they generally do not produce a lot of results. I've seen reward amounts up to $150,000 to $200,000. The people who commit these crimes are not going to turn themselves in, and there's a good chance that people who know something may be afraid to. So I would not discourage a reward fund, but I would say do not place too much emphasis on this. But, you know, we have to explore every avenue. And if by chance someday someone might look at that and say, you know, it's worthwhile, then you just can't discount that. So that's why it is there at this time.
And I think we all share the same thought that there is somebody somewhere
Yes.
that knows something.
Yes.
There has to be. And
People-
so we're waiting for that person to come forward, to either get that courage to come forward or to realize maybe they do know something.
yes,
Maybe
people-
they have something helpful.
People do not simply just disappear, vaporize, or she even told one of the news groups that, you know, aliens might have picked him up.
It made as much sense as
It makes-
vanished.
It does. It does. Yeah.
So there are always some type of events and clues and things that happen. And the job of the police, as far as we're concerned, is to seek out those clues.
Mm-hmm.
Where we are right now is they're waiting for the clues to come to them. And if you watch television, you'll see the police shows on there, and some dedicated, warm-hearted police officer will never give up, and he takes an hour, even with commercials, and he solves it. That's TV. That's not real life. In real life, you got guys who eat their lunch, go home in the evening to their families, and put in their week, and they go kind of with policies. And if something doesn't gel real quick, your missing loved one can just get lost. And unless the family is there to keep things going, keep it in the public eye, you know, it can never get solved. So that's what we're doing.
And the motto is what, Donna?
We will never, ever, ever give up.
Because Jesse wouldn't have it, would he?
No,
That's right.
how can you give up on your child?
You don't.
And I've had this little conversation in my head with him, and he had a little temper, and if he thought we were giving up on him, I would never hear the end of it.
That redheaded temper would come out,
Yes,
wouldn't it? Wouldn't
yes.
it?
So we will never give up.
I'm gonna, you wanna tell us, you're getting ready for another trip to Chicago with a special group of guys. You wanna tell us
Yes.
about them?
Jesse, in high school, he did a charity event, sort of a battle of the bands, and raised $600 for Catholic charities. He met a band through one of his co-workers, and he worked with that band, and he arranged some of their concerts and events, and we came to know the band. And then when Jesse went missing, they came to us and they said, we want to help. So we had a couple of concerts. They went on a 10-state tour promoting the missing, and Jesse in particular. They actually, our son Andy and myself went to St. Louis. We joined them, went to Chicago and did some concerts. And so we just recently returned from a concert, and then in July, the same people have arranged an event at the Six Flags over Greater America, I believe it's called, just north of Chicago. And so we'll be up there. They'll be playing for, I don't know, maybe 8 hours, and we'll be promoting Jesse and the books and so on.
Okay. I'm gonna hold up this flyer, this missing persons flyer. Can we get a picture of a good shot of Jesse? Okay? That's Jesse. And I'm going to read it to you. Jesse was born February 18th, 1987. He is 70 inches tall. Weight was, at the time he disappeared, was 140 pounds. Blue eyes and beautiful red hair. He is a white male, of course. He has freckles. And anyone with any information can contact the Chicago Police Department at 1-312-744-8266.